What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, if you haven't been keeping up or been avoiding the leaks for WandaVision, especially the anonymous stuff coming from 4chan and Reddit, the stuff for the later episodes 5, 6, and 7 has been proven to be dead on the money, which definitely adds an extra layer to that spoiler warning. Today's leak for episode 8 and the finale episode 9 is so big that we're going to break it into two parts. I'm going to overlay the text for you guys. We'll read through it word for word, break down and contextualize each piece, and of course issue that normal spoiler warning for what's coming. But man, there are some major reveals, including a new take on this cameo, what's going on with Doctor Strange, and some other huge resolves for plot points. We're going to break everything down for this brand new leak. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're still giving away a PlayStation 5 at 800,000 subscribers, as well as brand new Disney Plus subscriptions while the shows are live. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So first up, the normal spoiler warning, which always starts, remember to take anything that doesn't come directly from Marvel Studios and officially with a grain of salt. It definitely includes 4chan and Reddit anonymous posts, but during the season, those are the ones that have proven to be true. There's no telling the case with this. So either way, if this is in any way going to ruin your upcoming WandaVision or Marvel Phase 4 experience, if you're susceptible to this kind of thing, which definitely begs the question as to why you clicked on this video in the first place, either way, you might want to back out, because if there's any validity to any of this, then it's going to be major reveals for the last two episodes. I ain't mad at you, I respect it, but if this is going to ruin the show for you, you might want to back out now. Also, quick addendum to this spoiler warning, do not go to 4chan. That site is not safe. Always wait a couple of days later to grab it on Reddit, and if I can, as I will do in this video, I'll overlay the text for you. Again, 4chan, not a safe site. So here's the first part of the leak. All of this was translated into English out of Portuguese from a Brazilian thread originally, so keep in mind that some of the word order seems out of place. That's just from the Google Translator. It starts by saying the next episode starts with Wanda stealing Sword's vision body. Tony and Natasha are mentioned at the beginning. There's a flashback scene of Vision and Wanda before Infinity War talking about being tired of running away and wanting to live in an isolated place, quoting Westview. Wanda takes Vision's body to Westview to give him a dignified burial, but Agatha appears and manipulates Wanda into creating the reality of the Hex. Agatha calls the Hex reality a dream, but also a nightmare. We then see one of the scenes from the first trailers with Vision in black and white welcoming Wanda, who is still in color. Returning to the present, Agatha tells Wanda that she was one of the witches at the Salem witch trial. Agatha says she would have been killed, but Ralph saved her, but we still don't get to see him. Parentheses, there are scenes from the Agatha said dressed as a witch being judged in ancient times, which validates this leak. We've also seen some pieces of the official storyboard, which do validate Wanda getting Vision's body as well. This is where the leak for me starts to go off the rails, and I'm wondering if something was misspoken here. Monica and Pietro decide to work together against Wanda and Agatha. Monica and Pietro all of a sudden team up, and Wanda's on Team Agatha. Definitely didn't seem that way from the end of the episode. More like Pietro and Agatha would team up against Monica and Wanda. Either way, during a fight between Wanda and Pietro, Wanda accesses Pietro's mind, and we see a scene from Michael Fassbender's Magneto, but it is not a new scene. You're telling me that they actually used old footage from somewhere when they filmed back on one of the X-Men movies with Michael Fassbender? I just absolutely don't believe that. Of all the things I believe and don't believe, it's hard for me to believe they would ever do that. Although I will mention there were some early leaks that said Michael Fassbender's Magneto would show up. There's also been other talk of that X-Men realm. And on top of that, we also know that Nicholas Scratch, who I've now pointed to Evan Peters as my most likely character he's playing, ends up fighting his mother all the time. He tries to kill her on several occasions. Perhaps Monica is able to use her powers to free Nicholas Scratch, or should I say Pietro, or whomever Evan Peters is playing, from the very obvious control we saw him under during the theme song Agatha all along. You see her purple magic at work here, and then would assist Monica in fighting Agnes in an attempt to help Wanda. And if Wanda was under the mind control of Agatha, then it truly would be Pietro and Monica facing off against Wanda and Agatha. But the very next bullet point says Pietro is really Fox's Peter Maximoff, and I just don't see how they could build this and make this all play out in 30 minutes in the next episode. So my skeptical mind is definitely skeptical with these last couple of bullet points here. It goes on to say Monica's space engineer is friend Blue Marvel. he'll be played by John Boyega in the series and will appear in episode 8 and some scenes with Jimmy. So Jonathan Boyega from the Star Wars series is now going to play Blue Marvel in the Disney Plus series. I'm not sure about that either. At the end of episode 8, Wanda gets rid of Agatha's mind control. The episode ends with Hayward calling Wanda the Scarlet Witch. I could definitely see that. We know that name is coming. We knew it was coming back when Hayward kept insisting, asking Jimmy, does she have some sort of silly nickname? Of course she's going to get called the Scarlet Witch. And the last bullet point says, for this one, shocking no one, in episode 9, Doctor Strange appears, and we have an even more intriguing participation that is that of Professor Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart, parentheses. Remember that Paul said he had the chance to work with an actor that he admired a lot? Now look, of all of the recent reports of Al Pacino and all these other characters and actors it could be, some of us for a while thought that he had actually meant the Evan Peters reveal, but I don't think anybody seriously talked about the idea that it could be Patrick Stewart reprising his role of Professor Xavier, although I will say, of all the actors that Paul Bettany's possibly wanted to work with, I'm guessing Patrick Stewart would be on that list. And no, I didn't go check on IMDb to see if they had worked together, which I'm sure you guys will do and let me know in the comments. If they haven't, still, we know that Marvel Studios reached out to Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman alike to get them to come back respectively as Wolverine and Professor X. We also know that their answer was an emphatic no because Logan was a closing to that chapter. The last like 3 or 4 bullet points, even though I could make sense of why Pietro would be on Monica's side if she freed him from mind control, and Wanda would be on Agatha's side if she was still under her mind control, I can't make sense of the rest of this. I do not believe Pietro is playing Fox's Peter Maximoff. I do not believe we would ever get a scene of Michael Fassbender's Magneto, and I really highly doubt that Patrick Stewart is going to show up as Professor X. That being said, some really interesting comments on a Reddit thread on this said, and one that I thought was specifically interesting was, it's not so far out of the realm of possibility for any of this stuff for them to do that. We know that Kevin Feige kind of wanted to cross all of these universes over at some point anyway, and if there's really going to be Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 3, then the door is wide open for all the cinematic universes. That being said, I think it's super important to note that I have always been skeptical, especially with anonymous leaks, and as I've said in the past, reaching all the way back to Avengers 4, before we knew the name in Endgame, when people were writing leaks for that quite often it's a lot of fan fiction and a lot of leaks that have already been released. So the deeper we go in a series or the closer we get to a movie, the more opportunity there is for someone to just compile all of the leaks that have already come out, the ones that they like, that make sense for them, add a little bit of fan fiction, and there's your plot leak. Unsure of what we've gotten today, especially since the plot leaks for episodes 5, 6, and 7 have been right on the money, but I'm going to let you guys make up your own mind. How do you feel about half of this? Blue Marvel being the space engineer? For sure. Blue Marvel being Jonathan Boyega? I'm not sure about that, but I also know for me, and completely aside from the point, which I'm very interested in what you guys think, I don't want to see my Star Wars actors in Marvel, and I don't want to see my Marvel actors in Star Wars. I never want to see Tom Holland or RDJ as a Jedi. I really don't want to see that out of Brie Larson either, and I really don't want to see Pedro Pascal or any of the more recent Star Wars casting showing up as Marvel superheroes, although I know you guys are going to point out the fact that it's already happened with actors like Samuel L. Jackson, who played Mace Windu and now is Nick Fury, and of course Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac. That's your new Moon Knight, so it is already happening on a certain level. I really hope they choose to keep that at a bare minimum and they let a character and actor finish their story in one franchise so that we're not seeing the same face in both franchises in the same time over the next 5 years, because that for me is really going to make it hard for me to suspend disbelief. Just a personal opinion. I am all ears as to what you guys think about both that thought and the leaks, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away a PlayStation 5 at 800,000 subscribers, which we will easily hit by next month's end. We're also going to continue to give out Disney Plus subscriptions while the shows are live every week and announce some brand new Marvel prizes with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you want to be entered to win any, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be selected randomly and then announced at the end of videos in the same segment we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content at the channel is, of course, to hit the notification bell with notifications turned on. And if you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it, as always, if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me over on Instagram and Twitter under IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify under All Fires, and even streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nevelin. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.